Good afternoon, people. I hope all is well. This is John King saying hello on this beautiful day. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope life is good. I hope God is treating you good. I hope everything is well in ministry, business. I pray that everyone has an ear to hear in this season what God is doing. God is doing great things. God is moving swiftly and changing some things around, and He's doing so much in this new year, and I thank Him for the things that He is doing. I thank Him for the periods that we are in, even in the TBBC broadcast, the broadcast that God has allowed me to put together, and the shows that God allows me to be on and minister on. I thank God for all of this, and I just want to let everybody know that we are doing very good in this new year. We are taking things to another level, and pretty soon we're going to be going into having a studio pretty soon. So stay tuned to the Bridgeport Book Club TBBC broadcast. Pretty soon, for my first book, my next book came out of the journey. Second chapter of the journey is in the works to be coming out. So it should be out pretty soon, by the end of April, in the middle of April. Right now, I'm just doing the final touching up on it, and red tape and all that stuff you got to go through just to get a book published and get it out there to the people. And I pray that everyone receives something out of the second book of the journey, because it took me a little while to write this second book, because I had to take a part in the journey. I had to finish it up because it's part of what I go through, some of the things that I embark on, and some of the things that I have to come up against, and some of the people that I have to come up against, and the things and the places. There's so much on your journey that you got to come up against. And it's so important that I was just reading how the prophet, he went into the wilderness, and he walked a day's journey into the wilderness. And I'm like, wow, a day's journey into a wilderness, you can run into many things. Taking a day's journey, taking a day's walk into the wilderness, you run into many things. You run into so much taking a day's journey and walking through the wilderness. It's so crazy, because every step you take, every few steps you take, the atmosphere begin to change. It could rain, it could be sunny, it could cloudy. Even the ground will change what you walk on. You're walking a day's journey. You could be walking down a hill, up a hill. You could be going through valleys. You could be walking over rocks. You could be climbing little mountains, and you could be going through desert. You could be going through grasslands, grass as high as your shoulders. You could be going through grass as high as your ankle. You could be walking through water. You could be walking over brooks. There's so many things that can happen along the way in a journey when you're walking a whole day. A whole day. So I just want to let everybody know, look, keep on keeping on. Don't allow anything to distract you from your journey, from the place you have to go, from the time, from the things you have to do. Do not allow anything to distract you from your journey. Nothing. Like I said, this journey is very important, that I'm taking, even in the journeys in your own life, all these places you go, the things you do in your own life. It's important that we understand the place that we are in, and even the time that we're in, the time of the season of the journey, the place of the season of the journey, the depth of the season of the journey. The atmosphere, what's going on in the atmosphere. These things we can learn from when we're going through a journey. We're walking through a journey. We're taking a day's journey into the wilderness. Sometimes we take a week's journey into the wilderness, a month's journey into the wilderness, and that takes a lot out of us. But there's some things we can learn in the journey. We can learn from our experiences in the journey. We can learn from the lack of some things we need in the journey. We can learn from the people that we run into, the places we run into, the atmosphere changes, the natural effects that take place in the journey, the spiritual things that take place in the journey. I just want everybody to know that the journey is not necessarily, when you're going through this wilderness, it's not necessarily because you're sinning. It's maybe because you're going through something that God wants to fix, that God wants to mold, that God wants to teach you. So when you're going through a journey, a wilderness experience, don't allow no one to tell you that you're in a bad place. A lot of wilderness is just something like a purging. Some wilderness experiences is teaching you for the next level, teaching you for the next thing, the next great move of God, that He may need you to go through something so you can handle it when you come out of the journey. Some things you got to leave behind